Hey everybody, welcome to the site. It is Jennifer Roberts, the Podqueen. It's my new favorite thing. I love to be the queen of something. So that's why I had to start my own podcast so I could be the ruler of my kingdom, the Podqueen. So last time I talked about marriage, and I want to talk about marriage again today. I want to talk about it maybe from a different perspective. Last time I just kind of shared about marriage and what I like about it. I could have gone on and on and on because I'm married so well. Because I married a beautiful bald man and I'm in love with him. But today I want to talk about the journey of stepping into marriage. More specifically, like when you're single and you want to get married. And, I had heard phrases my whole life from people. I hadn't really sought marriage like I'd mentioned before, but I wasn't too worried about it because everyone would use phrases like, oh, when you're in a relationship, you'll just know. It'll be easy, you'll just know. Well, girls, let me just say, I didn't just know. It was like a wrestle and a struggle, and I just didn't know how you got to that place of I just knew. And so, in fact, recently I was reading through old journals. And a lot of my journals were in the process of dating Dwayne, and we're in love, but I'm afraid and I don't know, and I'm thinking, I am so young. How can I know what love is? Oh my gosh, how can I do this? I don't know. And I remember writing in my journal, people said I would just know. Does that mean he's not the one I'm to marry? And so there is for me, I'll just tell my story. I don't think I can completely give like a blanket statement of this is how it's going to be for everybody, but I'm going to go down in history saying I didn't just know. I married Dwayne and we've been married 20 years and we're going to stay married. So I just want to give freedom on your journey. If you're in that journey now, I want to just explain our story a little bit. Dwayne and I started dating, and it was kind of a miracle really. Because after I became a Christian in high school, I was really intense and I believed that dating was adultery. So I didn't date at all. I made it quite clear. In fact, I went really extreme and stopped wearing makeup for a season because I didn't want my identity to be in what I looked like. Now, honestly, it drew more attention to me because people were frequently asking me, are you sick? Are you okay? My eyes went from being like open to beady and red. So I'm just letting you know I had to put the makeup back on so I could blend a little more in the crowd. So that's that. But anyway, so I didn't date in high school. And honestly, I just don't even think there's any value in dating in high school. So I have no regret about that. Now, but I was called the nun in high school. People made fun of me, and that's okay. So how the nun ended up getting married is like, what? How did that happen? So we're in this relationship. And I'm feeling the butterflies. I'm loving this guy, but I'm afraid of my inability to see the whole picture. Like, I'm young. How can I make such a huge decision? And I remember I would pray, and it was like this, God, help me! I don't want to mess up my whole entire life. And I remember one time I'm praying, and I have this kind of vision, and in the vision it's just black. And I'm like, God, what is that? And he says, you're so close to my face, you only see the black of my eye. And it was this, because I was so anxious, like, God! And he's like, just relax. I'm here. I'm with you. Just relax. And it enabled me just to enjoy the process and not be so terrified. And so, of course, I think prayer is important. I love to pray. I'm part of the International House of Prayer. That's what we do. We get paid to pray. I'm a professional prayer. I'm sure that's not a word. I'm a professional prayer person. Intercessor and missionary. We coined the phrase. We don't know how to use the conjunction of it, but I pray for a living. So I believe in it, right? But at the same time, there is so much dignity in our choices. God gives us choices. And Paul even talked about he chose not to marry. And so you have to ask some simple questions first when you're in a relationship. I'm going to assume you want to marry a believer because you don't want to marry someone who's not following Jesus. That's just goofy. You want to marry someone who's a believer. So I'm going to assume you guys are on the same page with me. So you have to ask yourself some really basic questions like, Do you like the person? Are you attracted to them? Do you feel like you have to explain their personality when they leave the room? Are you embarrassed of them? I mean, normal things. I remember Dwayne and I were teaching to a group of young adults and they all want to talk about relationships. Great, we love that subject. And when we said, first question is, do you just like them? Everyone went, oh, like you're allowed just to like them. Yes, you are going to be spending 24/7 with that human being. Do you enjoy their presence? That is number one, honestly. Do you enjoy being with them? You don't want to enter in a covenant with someone that repulses you. These are basic things. You got to engage your brain in this process. It is okay to think like that. Sometimes we turn it into this huge spiritual thing. God is not marrying them. You are. Do you want to be with them? These are just normal questions. Now, of course you pray. Of course you ask him to lead you. But ultimately, you have the choice. And I'm assuming I'm talking to people who want what Jesus wants. So I know that you want what he wants, right? So it's not like I need to tell you don't choose the drug dealer. Yeah, that's a given. You want the one that is loving Jesus, is going hard after Jesus. Look at them. Say, okay, are they loyal? Are they faithful? Are they dedicated? Those kinds of things. Those are just great things to ask. But also, is there chemistry? Are you attracted to them? Do you enjoy their personality? Do you fight constantly? How do you resolve conflict together? These are normal things. Honestly, engage your head in this process. Not just your emotions, engage your head. The other thing that I think is really important is, you're going to spend the rest of your life with them. So, of course, you want to enjoy them and like them. There's going to be seasons of romance. The butterflies are going to come and go. Honestly, they will come and go. Do you just like them when the butterflies aren't there? Do you just enjoy their personality? And so it's important to know these things. Ask these questions. Get in there, mix it up. And then, of course, pray about it. Of course. But here's the deal. This is something that is obvious to me, but I have had people act like it was profound. Now, you can marry 100 people, but once you get married to the one person, you found the one. So once you get married, you never question, did I do the right thing? You did the right thing. And so I'm even talking to married people now too. Don't, oh my gosh, what if I had married Billy? Where would my life be now? You didn't marry Billy. Don't go there in your head. Take that thought captive and be grateful for who you're married to. You're in a covenant with that person. Does that make sense? So you want to, singles, ask normal questions, natural questions. Are you attracted? Do you like their personality? Do they love Jesus? Do they draw out your best? Women, do you respect them? If you don't respect them, you won't submit to them. This is critical. Are you embarrassed of them? I mean, really, these are just normal things. It's okay to engage the whole mystery of romance with natural thoughts and questions and processes. Does that make sense? So, all that to say, I didn't just know. And, once I get married, I look back and I just knew, but not really. Hindsight's 20/20, but, it also gets a little rosy in the process. So, after reading my journals with fresh-colored eyes, I realized it was a wrestle, it was a dance, it was a step of faith in the process. You need to understand that God is going to help you. Once you make that commitment, we're doing this thing, we're making a covenant, He is there to help you keep it, to give you love which you will run out of. You need to tap into God, who is love, to give you the eternal love that you need again and again and again. When your human ability runs dry, you need to get more from the source. And then you're able to love again. Maybe on a daily basis, you need to say, fill me up with love again. So if you're in the dance now, it's normal. The dance, the question, the journey, the struggle is normal, yet there's also a step of faith involved in the process. So I validate if you're wrestling. It's okay. I wrestled and I married and I'm in love and I'm happy. And that's the Pod Queen giving you the dish on what she thinks. Thanks.